Hey everybody, Dave Archer here, Atlanta Falcon Radio Network and AtlantaFalcons.com. You know, the Combine is right around the corner, and we're excited about what the 2026 future Falcons will look like. We'll see them perform at the Combine coming up. But we thought it'd be really cool to look back at some of our guys from previous Combines, some of the guys that are impactful players that are doing such a good job for us right now. And Copilot in the Combine app provided us this data, and so we're going to gather that information and we're going to show it to you now. Let's take a look at AJ way back in 2020 at the Combine. What are some of those numbers? 4.42 in the 40, 1.49 10-yard split. That's that ability to get up the top end speed as quickly as he can. We've seen that play out. The 34.5, almost 35-inch vert, his ability to battle the 50-50 ball. The broad jump, that's that explosion, the hip flexibility to explode. And then, of course, the bench press. Why would you make a DB bench press? You're going to see it in the highlights coming up. Let's take a look at AJ. 225 pounds, pumps it up 15 times. Tremendous functional strength from AJ Terrell. Look at the concentration now. AJ Terrell. 225, 15 times. Now you're going to see that play out in some highlights that we're going to show you here in a few minutes. Look, he just doesn't want to quit. He's going to go ahead and get him another one. Get you one more, AJ. Get you another one. Almost got another one. Almost got 16. AJ Terrell, 15 reps at 225. All right, here's that top end speed we talked about. 4.42 in the 40. AJ, explosive. Look at the relaxation. We got another shot of this coming from the end zone. Look how relaxed he is. He's running 4.42 in the 40. Remember, a 1.49 10-yard split. Talking about getting the top end speed as quickly as he does. So how's it translate? Here's AJ Terrell up here in the press corner position. AJ, one of the top press corners in the National Football League. Look at the strength, the jam at the line of scrimmage, and then his ability to put his foot in the ground, drive, knock the ball out. Here's another one, another press corner situation, working against Coleman, the outside receiver, outstanding receiver for Buffalo. MVP throws the ball out there and Josh Allen, but who's in his hip pocket? AJ Terrell. Look at AJ sit in his hip pocket right here, locate the football, knock it away. Outstanding job by AJ. Now this one I want you to watch. This is a screen play to the outside. AJ's being blocked by the tight end here. You can talk about why do you have a DB bench press? We got to figure out what that functional strength is looking at. He's playing against a tight end, plays off the tight end, gets Jackson Smith and the Jigba for no gain. That's AJ Terrell on the perimeter. That's why you look at some of these numbers. How do those numbers equate? Now, obviously, you have to have the ability to go play, but AJ takes those numbers and makes them come to life. What we saw at the Combine has come to life as a Falcon corner. All right, let's take a look at Bijan Robinson way back in 2023. Seems like a long time ago, wasn't it? 2023, Bijan Robinson at the Combine. 4.46 in the 40, 1.52 in the 10-yard split. That's that explosion, that ability to get the top end speed as quickly as you can, and then the explosive piece of his hips, the ability to broad jump, the vertical jump. We saw some of that play out during the season. But let's take a look at Bijan getting it done at the Combine in 2023. Just look at this is just fun to watch, the pure raw power of Bijan Robinson as he comes off and just gets the top end speed. Look at the guy in the background right there. Wow, did you see that split? Bijan Robinson at top end speed. Just love to look at the power, watch him in slow motion. We're going to show you some of his highlights from playing this season, but we wanted to let you see some of the stuff that you're seeing on the field transpired at the Combine back in 2023. Here's that explosion in the broad jump, long broad jump here. And these are baseline numbers, right? You're trying to get an idea of where is the athleticism. Now it transitions to some of the things on the field. 79 receptions last year for Bijan Robinson, over 800 yards. That played out at the Combine. Look how softly his hands catches the football. He's able to cradle it in. There's that 37-inch vert. We saw him make a couple plays where he had to go up the ladder to make a couple of grabs this season, and Bijan Robinson showed that athleticism. Now, the athleticism on the field, and man, this is fun to watch. I just want to be quiet and let you see it. The great top-end speed, the strength, the break through the tackle, the long touchdown run. Okay, you're a linebacker. Go tackle this guy. Yeah, not that easy. Bijan Robinson. Here is signature run against the Rams. Prime time. Rips off the 80-plus yard run. Nobody can catch him. How about you're a linebacker in a flat and Brajan catches it in the flat? No, I don't think so. Led the league in yards from scrimmage, run and pass, just a phenomenal, dynamic athlete, and we saw it play out at the Combine. You saw the numbers, you saw what he could potentially be, and he's all of that, no question about it. One of the great players in the National Football League right now, Bijan Robinson. Let's take a look at the four-time Pro Bowler, four-time All-Pro Chris Lindstrom, 2019 first-round draft pick for the Atlanta Falcons. And let's take a look at some of his numbers from the Combine. 491. You might say, well, but that's 300 pounds running at 491. This is the number I want you to look at. 169 split, because that's going to play out in some of the highlights you're going to see. And then down here, this 20-yard shuttle, 4.54. That's extremely quick for a 300-pounder. We're going to show you the three-cone drill. That's going to play out too as we look at some of the things that Chris did at the Combine. Remember now, this is a 6'4", 300-pounder. Look how fluid he runs the 40. But here's some of the stuff that really kind of starts to play out. His ability to change direction, get his body weight down, drive through these drills, and then finish. Did a really good job on the three-cone drill. Now, how does it translate to the field? Here's Chris Lindstrom, defensive tackle. Okay, he's got to get across the D tackle's face with Noozle, the center, to cut him off. He doesn't even need Noozle's help. He gets across the face of the defensive tackle. Look where Bijan's running, right off of their rear end to create that crease against the Colts right here. Here he is, Chris Lindstrom right here. Gets to the second level. Demario Davis, the linebacker, outstanding player for the Saints, drives him off the ball, stones him, gives him an opportunity. Here he is out in the screen. We talked about his ability. 169, 10-yard split. Look at him out in front of Bijan Robinson in the screen. Now this is one I really want to watch. This guy's got him outflanked. The quick step, he immediately gets the 325-pound defensive tackle cut off. Now he's got to finish. Watch the finish here. Tyler gets in behind. Look at Lindstrom finish and knock him on the ground, and Algiers up the field. Tremendous, and it translates what we saw at the Combine and what this guy puts on the field. He probably is better on the field than he was at the Combine, but my goodness, four-time Pro Bowler Chris Lindstrom. Back in 2024, Atlanta took this guy, Brandon Dorlus, in the 4th round, and he had a breakout season in 2025. Here are some of the measurables that we talk about in the Combine. 4.85 40 at 290 pounds, 295 pounds. But the 10-yard split, when you get to the big guys, that's what you're looking for. How much does that burst jump out at you? 168 is outstanding. And then I want you to look down here at the cone drills. The shuttle at 4.85 matches the 40. That means he doesn't lose any speed when changing direction. And then his ability to run. We'll show you the 3-cone drill and his ability to change direction because it played out during the season. Here's Brandon Dorlus at the Combine. I want you to watch how this is a 290-pound guy. Look how he's out for a Sunday jog. Look at this. Just rolling through it, runs 4.85. Look at the relaxation, just comes off the ball. Atlanta took him in the 4th round in 2024. He only played 2 games in 24, but burst on the scene for us in 2025 because he fit what Jeff Holbrook wanted to do. Look at the change of direction for the big fella, an ability to finish, and we're going to see finish on the field. Brandon Dorlus. Look at him here, knifing through. Remember, Jeff Holbrook wanted an attacking style defense. Look at Dorlus attack the A-gap, blow through and put Achane on the ground for a tackle for loss. Was outstanding at playing in the other team's backfield. Now I want you to see the strength. Here he is against the Saints. Just bull rush straight ahead. Now get on the quarterback and get him on the ground. Dorlus, 8.5 sacks this year from the defensive tackle spot. Another look at the same play. Get Shuck on the ground right there. Big play for Atlanta down in the red zone. Had to make a play. And here he is. Watch the quickness off the ball. Talked about that 168 speed in the 10-yard split. Beats the tackle across his face and going to make another play, another tackle for loss here for Brandon Dorlus. Brandon Dorlus was a marvel this last season. He'll be a big part of what the Atlanta Falcons are defensively. But we want to look ahead and see what happens at this year's Combine. We're excited to see what the future Falcons might be at the Combine in 2026.